So, hello and welcome back to my channel. Please ignore the fact that my eyebrows look different. They are. Can't make them even if I try. The lighting might be a bit weird. I have my blind sort of halfway down because it's pretty bright outside. And if I have the sun in my eyes, I'm just going to be squinting through the entire video, and that's not very nice. And I also have a puppy flying around everywhere. She was at my lap like 5 seconds ago. Now she's over the chair next to me over there. So this is going to be a bit of a challenge to film because I'm going to have to watch her at the same time. But the video that I'm going to film, that I'm filming right now, is using the Wet n Wild Walking on Eggshells palette to create probably the simplest eye look in history. It's foolproof, it's very simple, and this is very affordable, so yeah, let's take you along. So if you want to begin with, you can put a primer on. If you have very oily eyelids, or you feel like your eyeshadow isn't staying on very well, or that the pigmentation is a bit so-so, pop a primer on. I have an e.l.f. one here because that works well for me. If you don't need a primer, you can skip it entirely. I'm just going to put it on just to be sure. After I have blended out the primer, I'm going to go into the palette, taking the bottom shade, which is labelled Eyelid, and putting that all over my eyelid. And I'm going to use basically one brush. You can do this look with one brush. I have a second one for blending if that becomes necessary. But I'm going to start off with the bottom shade, which is a lovely sort of champagne, rosy pink shade. And putting that all over my eyelid. This is a very shimmery colour. It's very, all of them pretty much all have elements of shimmer to them in varying degrees. If you don't like that sort of look, then this won't be for you. But it's a very simple one to do with pretty much most palettes. I just like this because the eyeshadows look very, very good on most people. And they also look natural. They don't appear over the top, they're not too much, and they are perfect, I think, for beginners because they are nicely pigmented and very easy to blend. Sorry, there's a puppy going crazy behind me. There's a couple intermissions. I'm then going to take the second shade, which is labelled Crease, and put this in my crease. Using the same brush and just putting the product at the tip of the brush, dipping it in and tapping off any excess. I'm so sorry for any noise behind me, but I need to keep the puppy occupied, and that means toys. Tapping off any excess and working it back and forth in my crease. And using the same brush that I put the product on, I'm also working this sort of upwards towards my brow, just because that's the way I prefer to blend, and I just blend it whilst applying. I keep going in and out of focus, and I'm sorry. Like that. And I'm also going to take the first shade onto my lower lash line and just work this all the way across, taking the first shade and just popping that on my lower lash line and sort of linking it up in the outer corner. Then I'm taking the second shade, the crease shade, and going just on the outer corner of the lower lash line to create a bit of sort of depth. And I am so sorry for the noise in the background. It's a bit difficult filming when you have to watch a very energetic puppy who won't sit still. So I have given her some toys, and it's about what I can do. And it suddenly became a bit brighter, so yeah. And I'm just blending those two colours together at the lower lash line. And also linking it up in the outer corner. I will then be taking the top shade, which is labelled Brow Bone, and putting this in my inner corner as well as highlighting my brow bone with it, using the same brush. If you're worried that you might mix the product up, you can just wipe it a bit on your hand, but I feel that there's not much product left on the brush once I have applied it and blended it onto my eyelids. So it's a very simple sort of, you need one brush and you need the palette. It's not going to be expensive at all. Taking the brow bone, that was weird, brow bone shade, and just popping that onto my brow bone. This is, in my opinion, it's the perfect sort of brow bone highlight shade if you like it slightly shimmery or shiny, but not like a disco ball, not over the top. I feel like this is sort of, at least for me, it's the perfect sort of subtle highlight shade. And if you don't feel like it's blended properly the way you want, you can take a clean brush. I have a Real Techniques based shadow brush, and just run that along the edges, particularly the sort of edge of the brown shade up towards the brow bone. And if you feel like this blending takes away the brow bone shade, you can just reapply it afterwards. It's as easy as that. That's a tip and a bit of tricks with anything when you're blending, and if you feel like you take away some of the colour or the intensity that you want, just reapply it. And if you want to go with something matte in the crease or matte highlight, you can definitely do that and leave the sort of lid shimmery as the sort of attention seeker. Now, if you want to do something else, you can add a sort of nude flesh tone pencil to the waterline to open up the eyes a little bit more. I definitely feel like this makeup helps open up the eyes anyway, and it makes it really nice and bright. I keep popping in and out of focus and I'm really sorry. You can do that, or you can just go straight to mascara if that's what you want. I will be putting on this first and mascara afterwards. And I'm using the Covergirl Supersize Mascara because it's absolutely amazing. And I'm just going to curl my lashes first. The joy of filming in an overcast day is you either have the sun, which is blinding, or you have the shadow, which means you don't see anything. So I'm going to pop my mascara on, which you probably won't see that well because of the sun, but I'm going to try anyway. Lucy? Now, I've only put this on my top lashes, but you can definitely put it on your bottom lashes if that's what you want. I have sun flaring in my eye, that's a bit better. And that's the look done. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again soon. Bye!